Bear Nation, how we doing? We're back again. In this kind of little special short episode, I wanted to bring my guy Dzhangar back. If you remember, Dzhangar is the CEO and founder of Match Families, helping families around the world find matches. Right, Dzhangar, thanks for coming back on. And what we're going to do in this episode is share your three best tips for developing your social circle when moving to a new city or a new country. If you haven't already listened to his earlier episode, it's in the show notes. Check it out. Dhangar grew up in Russia, traveled for work and lived in Thailand, traveled for work and lived in the United States. Both of those times did it without a family, and then moved to Germany to take over with his corporate job. And it was his first time moving with his family. He had two young daughters, and his wife didn't speak the language. She was a doctor. She had to learn the language, then take all the tests, and they had to develop a social circle, which was really, really hard, which is how he talked about, or why he decided to start his own company. So if you haven't checked out that episode, do it. It's a great one to listen to. Django, thanks for coming back, my man.
Thank you.
Yeah. So I want a quick story. One of the things that we talked a lot about when you were in New York and we met has been around building connections, right? Your superpower is to build trust, and that's allowed you to build great connections. And one of the unique things that we've talked about in the past is, I think it's something the stat was, it used to be like 49%, especially in America, 49% of Americans live 5 miles within their hometown. Quite a lot of people, and that may be higher, although I don't remember now. That was a while back. I think it was a Bruce Springsteen special when he said that. Because he was he was like, I'm the man that was born to run, and I ended up 5 miles from my hometown. And I've thought about this a lot, because a lot of people, when you don't realize until you move that you're leaving, your social circle, your friends, your family, these deep relationships, the comfortableness of having a place to go and knowing like what your bar is or what your restaurant is or where all your shops are. But the average life cycle of a relationship is about 7 years. Right. And for some people who never leave, they tend to have the same friends they've grown up with their whole life. But those that have traveled, they have like different social groups, and it's like evolved. It's like, here's your best friend for these years and this year's and this year. And I'm someone that's had a lot of acquaintances, a lot of, friends. And I have an amazing group of people that I've met over my life that I've like called my best friends. But it's been unique. I've gone through a lot, and I've even struggled in New York. I've been here for 6 years, and I've got a lot of acquaintances, but very few friends. It's not easy to do. And that's why I really wanted to cover this topic with you. So what are your three best tips to build your social circle when moving?
Yeah. Thanks. Great question, Rob. I was thinking about it, like also reflecting on my past experiences. I think I tried all of the ways for building a social circle and making new connections. It could be if it's family through kids' friends, for example, or through colleagues, or by attending events. So I tried everything. What I realized in the end is that you need to be mindful in terms of what kind of network you want to build, who you want to connect with. Because otherwise you'll bump into different kinds of people, maybe lose some time, because not everyone is like-minded. Not with everyone you will enjoy spending time. You'll make a lot of attempts to build connections, but if it's not working from the very beginning, there's going to be no good future for that. So what I realized that, and perhaps number one tip, is be mindful, think about who you want to connect with and be there. Like I felt like I want to connect with other founders, startup founders who want to achieve something in their life. And I felt like I will then because they're like-minded, we will, spend great time together, and specifically went to places where they are. And that's number one, like be specific who you want to connect with. And second one, don't be shy or afraid or lose opportunities to make connections, like be really active. I can say I have here in Germany, a very good friend who got in touch with me himself, because I was featured in one of the online sessions about mentorship. Like one of my business mentors, he said, like, can you share feedback about your experience working with us? And I did share it. It was broadcasted. And then people saw me and understood what I'm doing. And they contacted me. I made 2 friends because they watched this and said, okay, I want to connect with this guy. I like what he's saying. So you see what I mean? And they're both founders. And of course, we go along very, very nicely. Or there was an event in New York when I was in New York. And I was not going to go there, actually. But everyone said, hey, let's go. It's a good opportunity. So it's like, it's deep tech. I'm not doing deep tech. Like, why would I go there? But I actually ended up to go there because it's like, okay, so don't be lazy, use all chances. And I went there and made 2 great connections there unexpectedly, which I was very, very happy about. So what I mean is that sometimes it's like, oh, maybe that's not a great fit for an event, or I don't know these people, I might not feel comfortable. But then you make yourself to go. And then eventually, in my experience, you would benefit. Like sometimes unexpectedly, you would meet people who can change your life. So, and if you're thinking about it's only because I thought to myself, don't be lazy, use all of your chances. So that will be number 2 advice. And number 3 would be related to my perhaps now as a family, because as a family you want to make friends so that it works for everyone. And number 3 perhaps would be to use technology more often to find like-minded people, because there are definitely people walking in your city who will be a great match to you. So you could use platforms like Match Families if it's about family people or couples or single parents. That way you can just find exactly who you're looking for quicker. What I mean is that technology basically, what it enables you to do is to save time or money, to do something, to get something quicker, right? So, and in that sense, it's of course, sometimes people say, I never use apps, or I don't want to use apps for friends because friends is, app and friends, what is that? No, I think app is a technology, is just enabler for you to find people quicker. Don't hesitate to do that.
Yeah, I love that. I love this. So number 1 was to be mindful about who you want to connect with in your network. And this is like both personal and professional, right? Who do you want to spend your time with as a friend, as a social circle, right? 2, be courageous. It's uncomfortable. It's scary meeting new people. It's scary trying to build relationships. So be courageous. And 3, I love this. Use technology to meet and connect and find like-minded people. And I know that people have a tendency to kind of shy away from it, but how many couples are now married because of app-based technology, right? But also, like some of my closest friends that I have gotten to know in the last 2 years, I've never met in person. I met because of LinkedIn or Instagram when we created a relationship, and then we communicated and we did a podcast together. We collaborated on some business or a webinar. And it's amazing. We've seen so many people who have created some amazing network and amazing friendships during the pandemic. And as we come out of a post-pandemic world, don't be afraid to still use tech to do that. And also, tech as an enabler, it helps you kind of weed through things and find those mesh points. Because in a new city, depending on if you're in a city like New York, or a city like Dusseldorf or Berlin or Rome or Barcelona, like some of those cities are big, some are smaller, some are very unique. Like Milan is a very unique city. It's a very socialite city, and you kind of have your little your space where you go out to be seen, and you don't think about the other districts. Even though if I mention a place to a friend in Milan, it's like, hey, I asked you for recommendations. You never said anything, but I went to this place here. It was amazing. Like, oh yeah, it's such a great place. Like, why didn't you say it? Because it's kind of outside their little social circle. It's like if I'm in that area, I go, but my social circle is like this little zone. So use technology to get outside your comfort zone. It's going to help you be courageous and help you in your mindfulness on who you want. So I love those as those 3 things. So be mindful, be courageous, and use technology. And if you're a family, single parent, use Match Families. Check it out.
Yeah.
Dzhangar, I appreciate you sharing that with us and kind of bringing it from your experience as someone who, has moved around a lot and have had to build social circles everywhere you went, both as you as a couple and as a family. So appreciate you sharing those with us. As always, it's a pleasure. Take care of yourself, and we'll be in touch soon. All right, my guy?
Thank you very much, Rob. Appreciate it. It was great to chat with you again.
Absolutely. And Bear Nation, as always, stay well, rise up. Bear Nation, thanks for listening to the Bare Necessities of Entrepreneurship. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe and leave us a review.